All right, we're live. Hey, Fede, question. What was your first ever computer?
My first ever computer. Oh, I don't remember. It wasn't that old because it was in probably from 92. It's probably in the 99. I don't know. I remember my first internet was like 64 kilobytes speed. I remember that.
Dial
Yeah,
up.
super slow. Yeah, that you couldn't use your phone when you use the internet. So
You're
yeah.
doing dial up. Yeah, yeah. My first computer was a Hewlett Packard Bell. Had like 32 megabytes of RAM, Pentium one, blazing fast. At least for the time, it was like that computer cost us like $2,500 back then, which I don't even know how my parents afforded. uh, all right, all right. Fede, you want to start us off with the stand up?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working on the end-to-end test. I have it working, but it's not consistent yet, so it fails sometimes. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I need to change the test and our code, so we can like uh, pass every time if everything's fine. And I also need to add probably some endpoint on something to clear the test account from the database. So every time we run the test, it can create the user and all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to check that error that you sent me, but I don't know. Trace is not good, so I will need to manually test it to see if it's working. So
These are all Cypress tests.
that's it for me. Yeah, the end-to-end test. Yeah.
Yeah, someone did do like a new. I think I'm gonna blog about it tomorrow. Some thing where you know how they have like reporters in Chrome, so it's not necessarily a new idea because you can been able to do this for a long time now. But you get a reporter in Chrome, you hit play, you click around, whatever, and then it does the script to replay it. The new thing they're doing is now they're having ChatGPT or GPT create the script itself. So I don't know if that's might be worse, right? Because you've gone from something that was deterministic to non-deterministic, which is the problem that I'm running into now. I've been working on the summary, trying to fix our summaries, which for some reason GPT 3.5 Turbo is now refusing 90% of the time to do a summary, and I'm just gonna keep digging into it.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not sure.
probably changed something. Yeah, lower level.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I take the full prompt, I put it into Playground inside of um, OpenAI's site, and then sometimes they'll straight refuse and say it hasn't access to the messages, and I'm like, dude, it's right there. What are you talking about? Sometimes they'll start responding in JSON, and I'm like, you've gone off the rails. Like you're just doing whatever you feel like at this point. So, uh, not sure what's going on there, but I'll keep debugging. And I think I tried. Oh, I was going to try to see if like GPT-4 has the same problem because GPT-4 is smarter and it can figure things out a little better. But the problem is the context window. You don't have a large enough context window for as many messages that I'm sending in there. So I'll just keep hammering on that. We do have our partnership with UCSB Research. We're going to have a meeting with the two professors on Monday to hammer out details about our submission. We're going to miss the November deadline, November 1st deadline, but it's a rolling window. So um, maybe if we wait, our the amount of funds will be increased because usually year over year they increase the amount of funding that they do to startups. So that's for the STTR submission. And then we're also meeting with Google on Monday for integration, which is 3 p.m. PST. So I need you on that one, Fede. Thanks for being able to make that. I know it's late for you. And um, oh, and the next week I'm also following up with our third-party audit. And then the other thing, we're doing LinkedIn with Sales Navigator outreach to people that are Slack certified. And so yesterday I had a buddy come over. He's in sales. He's been doing cold outreach for his job for a long time. So he just giving me tips and stuff about like, the initial message. Like it was way too long and it had like fluff. Like just get to the point. Start with the problem statement first. Hey, do people complain to you about Slack search? And then, working on a solution, worth the chat. Keep it short, concise. Don't make it like a sales pitch because it's not a sales pitch. I'm just trying to find people to talk to, right? So that I need to talk to Mel about doing that outreach. I updated the doc that specifies the way to do it. At first, I was gonna even in the first message, it was like asking for a meeting, like 15-minute meeting, and he was like, actually, that's a little bit too much. You want to do it in chunks, right? Get the conversation going, and then they're more likely to commit to a meeting as opposed to like the first one's like, hey, let's talk on a call. Like, nah, I don't know you, get away from me. So we're gonna do first connect with them on LinkedIn, do a short message, explain the problem, and then maybe have a little bit of conversation and then set up a call. And that'll probably increase our hit rate much higher than what I was initially going to do. So I'm thankful for my buddy Eric that pointed that out. All right, Yura, how's your fun times debugging latency?
Not that fun as it sounds. So right before this call, I shared my idea with Raj to fork Pinecone library and add logs to the record to find which stage underperforms. I will do that. I'll try to do that today and share the results with you. In parallel, I also working on the prompt, trying to improve it. I've added the current date to the query, which helps Pinecone to find more relevant, more recent messages. Yeah, that's it. Also play a little bit with open source LLMs. That is funny. And yeah.
Well, 400 gigabytes. If you want to run the new biggest Falcon, you need 400 gigabytes of RAM to run Falcon at a good speed. And it's like, all right, it's just not cost effective for us to be hosting the latest cutting edge open source project.
My disk is 256 gigabytes. So it's,
you can't even host it. You don't even have the space to have it run slow.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I ran Llama 2 7 billion parameters on my mobile phone. It's funny, it's slow, and it's not very clever. But that's a lot of fun playing with it and trying to understand what it can do, how it thinks, and so on.
I was gonna run a uncensored model and then just ask it how to make drugs. Like, how do you cook meth? Apparently it does. It'll tell you like the step by step how to cook meth. And then I was like, actually, what good? What good is gonna do if I know how to cook meth? I'm not gonna do it. So I abandoned that project.
How do you get an uncensored model?
Look up Dolphin uncensored. That one's an uncensored model. There's Llama 2 models that people have tweaked to make uncensored, so you can run those. There's a bunch of online ones, and there's a bunch of people doing the like Dolly 3 stuff that's like stable diffusion uncensored, so you can do like just porn and stuff. I've seen it; it's pretty good. Like you can't even tell that's not a real human.
Nice. So
I
also tried to ask Llama on my phone to create a Python function to create the Fibonacci sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It told me that it's unreasonable to program that because it's a mathematical function.
Oh,
and then
it
I
couldn't
realized there is a
reason
separate. Was that?
it couldn't reason it. It has to do. It has to generate code to do it, huh?
Yeah, uh, and then I've noticed that there is a separate model for programming, Llama code, something like that.
Oh, yeah, llama code.
So yeah, want to try it.
So one thing that I wanted to discuss, me and Mira talked about, we had a little sync before this call, was, if you have to go and do @Haley search and then your question, that requires training, right? You have to know, it's like a command line. You have to learn how to do that, as opposed to like @Haley and then your query. So the idea that me and Yura were talking about was to do the internal query and the GPT query at the same time. And so you do the internal query. Let's say that takes much longer than the GPT query. It just does the waiting and then fills it out. And then when the actual query that's internal comes up, and we find that there's we have something that tells you how relevant it is, then that modal pops up over it too. So you get both.
Yeah.
Similar to what ChatGPT is doing when they're doing like A/B testing. You guys see this when you're doing ChatGPT? Sometimes they'll present to you two answers, like which one do you like? So
yeah, and if semantic search, for instance, returns a negative answer saying that there are no information found, that there are no messages with the information, we can just determine it somehow by using a lightweight model and just not return it to the user because it just
well, if you get 0 messages, then you don't post anything.
No, it's sometimes not 0 messages. Sometimes there are messages, but GPT says that there is no information about the query in the messages.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's nothing relevant.
Yeah, we can ask GPT to generate a special token for this, or post-process its response with another method.
Well, like it's smart enough to do like confidence scores, right? So you could say like, if what's the likelihood that this query that was given to you was an internal query versus external, and then if it's over 80%, or some number that we determine, we show it versus not.
I was talking about another thing. Is so you run two in parallel always. Mm-hmm. And for semantic search, for the result of semantic search, you want to determine if it's positive and contains any useful information, or just like general statement that nothing found. So, and to determine if there is useful answer in the result of semantic search, you can use something, right? You can ask GPT to tell you explicitly that nothing found in a specific format, so that we can see that and not return this useless text to the user, right? So I wasn't talking about distinguishing between semantic query and the like regular query. So yeah, in my opinion, it's almost impossible in Visual Always to run two.
Gotcha. Hey Alice, any updates on your side? I know you're cranking out blogs. You've done like 3 or 4 since last time you joined us.
So I've been looking at a new AI open source model called Gina 2 embedding, or Gina embedding version 2, something like that.
Your microphone, there's static.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that right now. So can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a static.
Okay. Do you want me to just put it in the chat?
Yeah, well, just share your blogs, and I'm happy to share them on our social media that are relevant to AI.
Yeah, I did. Okay. I shared them with you, and
share them with everybody in the blogs.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right then. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a good weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye.